It's an Ike. All right, we're live on Google. And hit the go button on Alpha Geek Radio, our live streaming partner. Go check them out, alphageekradio.com. Boom, boom. Come on, press the button. Press the button. Come on. There it is. All right, we are super live, Eric. Hey, awesome. And there's Ike. Awesome. You son of a bitch, Ike. You told me you weren't going to be here.
No.
You lying fuck.
Some of us like to fucking eat dinner in peace and goddamn quiet, and other people are like, let me interrupt your thing 6 minutes early so I can tell you, are you coming on the show?
Oh my gosh, fine. I
get
it. I'm an asshole.
Too.
I know I'm the asshole here.
Some of us have
jobs. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And apparently I don't have time to eat.
And you're listening to Just Cool Enough, and you should have thought about that earlier. You know when the show was? It's been the same time for at least 2 weeks.
It's not like somebody here was just sitting watching Netflix and then was gently reminded by his Google Hangouts.
It's not like
that
one
the
of
show
us
started.
One of us was trying to watch some comedy on TV while he downloaded Skyrim, and I got halfway. Like I was downloading it earlier.
He's admitting that this
I
is
throttled
him.
I throttled it to about a meg and a half, just so I can do other things. I don't fuck with anyone else doing surfing the web. I don't want to be a dick about it. But then I realized, all right, nobody else seems to be on their computer right now, so fuck it, I'll go full speed. So I go full speed. I'm like, I can watch TV for maybe an hour and it should be done. Half an hour later, Joe's like, you coming? I'm like, fuck. So.
Yeah, that's because we have.
I just have to straight up pause it. No throttling or nothing. I'm straight up fucking pausing.
I have a bone to pick with Eric, especially because he's sitting there bitching about my directions last week about how to set up this thing.
Yeah,
and my
speech pattern 4 times.
My speech pattern. I made that how-to in between bathroom breaks of like corporate style meetings. I'll have you know that was an excellent piece of work.
You're right. It was an excellent piece of work you did the day of and got wrong.
Hey, I should at least get points for trying. Hey, seriously though, last week you guys had me cracking up, just dying. I wish I could rate the show again. You are making my day. But you guys talked about Dungeons and Dragons way too much, so 3 thumbs down. I was like, they're like, Joe's not here. Let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, oh god.
Well, I mean, the catchphrase to the show is talking about things we like, and you weren't here, so we got to talk about the things that we like.
Yeah.
You talked about me last week. Does that mean you like me?
We talked about how much we don't like you. We like you.
Oh man, the show is always meta for like the first 2 or 3 minutes, just bitching about the show.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So what'd you guys do last week? You guys do anything cool?
Went to the zoo.
Oh, awesome! I love Animal Prison.
It is Animal
great.
Prison.
And then I got to meet Eric's new Dungeons and Dragons character, which was awesome.
So, Eric, Ike keeps sending me these things. I'm like tattling on Ike right now. Ike keeps sending me. He's like, "Hey, that weekend where you're having your party? Well, there's gonna be like a spaceship rock and roll show." So
yeah, first it was like, "Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson's coming. Hell yeah, I'd like to go see that in Providence." Oh, it's the weekend I'm gonna go see Joe. All right, well, he better have fucking Morgan Freeman there, else I'm gonna be pissed. And then I was like, "Oh, there's an upcoming concert of like music from Legend of Zelda with this cool like background screen to it. Oh, that looks really good. And I think my girlfriend would love that because she likes Zelda. Maybe I'll get tickets. Oh, that's the weekend I have to go to fucking Joe's place."
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'm like, "Hey Joe, I'm thinking about going to your place. You got that place I could stay there, right?" And he's like, that might not actually happen anymore. I'm like, oh great. So now I might be going to a place that I don't have a bed, missing out a bunch of shit that I really like to see, and I don't know what's going on.
My whole, like, the only reason why I've been saying maybe and not no, because I thought maybe I could, get enough funds together to fly there, but I can't, like, I'm not going to be able to get, like, I assume Joe would have a place for me to stay, but apparently he won't. It's like, hey, we're having a party. We're also, we are going to be living with our parents, so you can't stay with us.
Also, Yeah, so the house might be sold, and we won't know until the end of the month. We'll actually be out of the house by the end of the month, but we'll figure out places for you to live. Don't worry. Don't worry. If you guys come here, I will figure it out. Things will be done. You will have a place to stay.
You know what I love most about things in general
Your
that
crackly
concern me
mic.
going to places where I don't
Okay,
live?
Ike, your mic is like taking a
It's
dump
not the
on
mic.
the
That's
face.
his internet.
Oh,
It would,
is
it would
this router?
happen, yeah, it's my new modem. It would
Are
happen
you-
to be that I don't like to.
my
I like to
God.
know where I'm gonna end up.
You will end up somewhere. We're closer to the date. Just commit to the flight so I could plan something. Anyway, Eric, don't you work now? Like, I was afraid of your new work schedule getting in the way of this thing.
I don't know what my work schedule is. Monday I go in for costume fitting. Then Wednesday I go through orientation, and then the Friday of the following week I go to Scare Academy. And then I don't know what my work schedule is going to be like. How how much they're going to want me to work, if they're going to have, because I know with other things they do, like the studio tours, they mandate you have to be at least one weekend. So I don't know, and I'm going to need Sundays off, and hopefully Mondays. So.
You're just asking for. By the way, I'd like to extend my vacation for another 2 weeks. If
Yeah,
I
it's
can
like-
get some more. You're like hard bargaining them.
Yeah, I'll go through all the academy stuff, all the training, all the costuming, and be like, I don't really want this job.
Like-
Okay, bye.
They're like, what do you think this is, Zappos? Like, this isn't some.
This
Crazy...
isn't Uber. You can't just decide to do it. Just show up and turn on your phone and do
Uber
it.
Monster Edition.
Yeah.
Just sign up. I'm gonna be a monster here.
I'm just doing this to make a little cash. I'll
Yeah,
just
it's-
monster for like an hour or two a night, and then
Task. You should. You ever hear the app TaskRabbit?
Yeah, I'm gonna TaskRabbit somebody else to do it. I'll pay them. I'll pay them half, because apparently I'm getting paid $11.75 an hour, so they can have half of it.
You're gonna TaskRabbit it. You're just sitting at home making $5 or whatever. Like, sweet, this is great.
Yeah, making about $6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not? That's good. That's a good idea. That's some 4-hour work week shit right there. There's a whole book about that. So I went to. By the way, we have an email once Ike figures out his mic situation and eats his dinner. Okay, so anyway, I went to a friend's house yesterday, and like we're in our late 20s now, so we're starting to like host like fancy parties, not just like let's get drunk and eat Taco Bell parties. So, but we're all kind of working out our different kinks of adulthood, and so my buddy Nick wanted to cook us a meal. And he got the timing all wrong on this thing, but he cooked a really delicious steak. Nick, your steaks are fucking amazing. But he got the timing all wrong, so all we had to eat last night was steak and beer. And he's like, oh, we're gonna have vegetables, we're gonna have this and that. So from 6 to 12 o'clock at night, we just ate little minuscule pieces of delicious steak. And drank beer, which doesn't sound bad, and then you realize that your body's getting older, and you're like, I needed those vegetables, Nick. Why did you do this to me? I'm an old man now. Please help. So I'm wondering if you guys are you guys going through anything like that?
I mean, I know my digestive system is not. I mean, I've gotten to the point where like I just get gas all the time, and just have to. I'm just constantly belching after I eat, because if I don't, I get stomach cramps.
Maybe I should probably be more specific, because I wasn't asking about your digestive tract, but I was asking about like just small changes in your life that you're noticing now that you're on the cusp of being an adult with a job and stuff.
No, I mean, I pretend like I hang around enough like people in their early 20s that and I can pass. I guess people don't realize until I tell them that I'm 30 that I'm 30. So I just kind of daywalker it and and then until I'll hang out with them, and I'll make a reference to something they have no idea about, like, and I'll be like, oh God, you mean you didn't see Space Jam when you were in 11th grade?
Like, what about you? You have more wisdom than Eric or I.
Has my mic improved at all?
Yes, it
Yeah.
has improved drastically.
my body. No, the only thing that I've noticed between the beginning of college and now being 32, almost 33, is that instead of just eating whatever I want and being able to burn it off, I just gain weight. I mean, it's really easy. I can really eat whatever I want, and all I do is gain weight. That's
called a diet there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have noticed that, like, I've had a little more issues now digesting milk, and I don't mean, like, gassy like Eric, but, like, it just doesn't sit with me the same way it used to, but I don't know if that's just because they say, like, every 7 years your taste buds change, and I know you can develop, like, lactose or whatever.
It changes, like the hand on a clock, like, all of a sudden you're like, fucking broccoli's
like,
delicious. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what? That's how, I'm like, I don't like refried beans anymore, but broccoli is delish.
Yeah.
I have gotten to the point where it's not like, oh man, I really should have had the vegetables with that meal. It's, oh man, I probably should have vegetables, but fuck it, I'm gonna eat this whole, like, I might have made beef stew tonight, and there was a lot of beef in it and a little bit of mushrooms, and that was it. She didn't put anything else in there, and this particular time around, and I'm okay with that. I'll just eat large portions of stew beef. That's fine. It tastes good.
I feel like I have more in common with people that are like 50 or 60 than people that are of my age and generation, especially Sarah and I both. I'm going to speak for her on this too, because we constantly are talking to people that are older than us, and we're like, yeah, you know, we eloped kind of thing, and, you know, we're really downsizing. We kind of have this empty nest thing going on since Scotty left, you know, and you know, like all those guys are on board. They're like, yeah, you know, you just got to get rid of that stuff. And it's really good you guys eloped. And they're all talking about their second or third marriage, but we're like on our first one. So I think we kind of both like dodged the first bullet with like the big thing, and we're already onto like the mystical second spouse part, and we're trying to learn from our elders. So soon, like if they allowed me in a retirement community, I would be in a retirement community, no questions asked.
I want to go off on a non sequitur for a second, but it will loop back around
Okay.
to what we're talking about.
Loop
This
it
week,
around.
I went to play laser tag here in town in Fall River. And while I was there, I ran into some of my students from when I teach at Highlander, but we're talking like first and second graders. Like, these are the little kids. I'm like, oh my god, it's Mr. Dodge, oh my god. So I'm out there like playing laser tag with my girlfriend, and like one of the kids like creeps up on me, he shoots, and he's like, I got Mr. Dodge, I got Mr. Dodge, and like he runs away. I'm like, yeah, kid, you did get me. And then I followed you back to your friends where you bragged some more, and I shot them all. And then after when...
You murdered the younglings?
Yep. And then after we played laser tag, we went out to Friendly's for dinner, where I had ice cream for dinner because, damn it, I'm an adult and I can do what I want. So I had a huge Friendly's ice cream for dinner, and then I went and...
You just ate it in the window, too? You're like, oh, yeah. Oh.
See, I love that. That's the cool part about being an adult that nobody tells you. Like, we just, you have the means and the inclination. You could do anything you want. Like,
yeah. Like when your parents are like, that's dessert. You don't eat dessert for dinner.
Like,
and then you get to be like 30-something. You're like, I can do what I want. Dessert is dinner. Fuck
this
you.
is what I want.
Pete Holmes has a great joke about that, where it's like he'll see a kid like walking by, and it's like, Dad, I forgot my hat. And it's like, Dylan, your hat's gone. You have to go. He's like, if that were me, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm an adult. I'll buy 3 hats just to throw 2 of them away.
That's how I felt. Like, Dag just moved into a new house, right? And we went over his house. We've been going over his house every Thursday or Tuesdays, and he has a pool. So that's awesome. And we had, I didn't realize that he had a pool till I went over there, and I walked in the backyard. I'm like, well, I'll see you in like 10 minutes. I went across the street. I bought bathing suits for everyone. I'm like, all right, pool party. And then he like pulls out these s'more supplies. I'm like, I guess we're having s'mores for dinner. And everybody had like 3 s'mores and got in the pool, and we're just having a good time. I'm like, this is like being a child with money in a car. This is amazing.
Oh, the best is a friend of mine, Laura. She was shooting at some house. And then came to a game night Saturday, and she was describing this house. I guess it's owned by like one person, and a bunch of like friends in their like 20s or 30s live there. But it's like the ultimate playhouse. They literally bought an above-ground pool and filled it with balls. So it's a large ball pit, and they have a room that's just the walls are covered in like Nerf guns. Like there's like an armory, and it's just like this whole like massive playhouse that adults quote unquote own this house.
Oh no, we lost Ike. But you always know when Ike's gone because our audio quality improves significantly. But that is one of the perks, though. You can just do whatever you want, pending you don't have any children. Because a lot of times when I see there are the cool parents out there, like the parents that are kind of bucking the trend. But I'd say by and large, generally, if you have a kid, you become a lot more reserved with your time, money, and energy.
Well, they cost money, and they suck all your energy. Like the first 2.5 years, you never sleep, and then after that, they continue. The cost of keeping them exponentially goes up until at least 18, if not beyond that. Well, I'm 30. My mom's still paying for all my shit.
So I felt really bad. Like, I apologize to my mom and dad all the time. I'm like, Dad, why did you even have me? Like this, like,
because well, son, when a man and a woman buy defective condoms.
Well, that's how I felt. Like, so I work closely with my dad, and every once in a while I get to go out to lunch with him, if the stars align correctly, and so like every time I try to take him out to lunch, I'm like, Pop. He always tries to guilt trip me. He's like, gets out his wallet. He's like, dad stuff. And then I'm like, Dad, stop. If it wasn't for your semen, I would never be born. And I say,
that's a weird thing to say to your father. That is never. If it wasn't for your semen, I would never be born.
But that's true. And I did that to my mom too. I'm like, Mom, your vagina and my
no. Wait. You just went to your mom. We're like, Mom, if it weren't for your semen, I wouldn't have been born.
These are.
You guys need to like I've broke the fourth wall with my parents like when I was like 16.
No.
So like the hero complex and everything that was gone a long time ago.
I'm fairly certain my parents don't have genitals. I was born in a Cabbage Patch. That's what they told me, and that's what I believe.
And I suppose so I don't know. I was never one of those. I was always kind of the no barriers kind of person. So I always say things like that to catch them off guard, so they put away their money, so I don't say any more asinine stuff in front of them at the local Coney Island restaurant.
Using a shock and awe tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's shock and awe. I'm like a shock jock, but for paying for my parents' dinners and breakfast and stuff. Like, you came inside my mom. Let me buy you dinner.
I don't want to do this show anymore.
Okay, all right. Maybe that was over the line. But I'm just saying, buy your mom and dad dinner if you can once in a while. It's real nice.
Oh.
So we have some
we
emails.
share in common. We've both been in mom's vagina. That's what you got.
There we go. See, we've all been in a mom's vagina before.
Hey, I just realized I gotta go. So it's been fun. We should do this again sometime.
These are all facts. If you want to participate in this madness, you can. Go to justcoolenough.com/live. Hit the donate button. Get Eric and Ike over to Michigan so they can have a cool party at an awesome brewery and eat some ethnic foods.
So is by me just merely being there enough to constitute as a gift for being, for your wedding?
You don't need to buy me shit. Like, I just want you over here. It means a lot to me.
Does having sex with your wife constitute as a gift?
Is that a dowry?
No,
that's reverse dowry.
That would be like Prima Nocta, only kind of post a Nocta.
I have no idea what that is.
Prima Nocta is this thing in the medieval times where it's like before your wedding, the king could come and fuck your wife before you.
What?
Yeah.
Yep, that was the thing.
I knew that happened, but I didn't know there was some archaic word for it.
Yeah, that's the plot of Braveheart. They got married in secret so the king couldn't fuck his wife, and then the king got mad and slit her throat.
What? Spoiler alert! Jesus.
That's like the first 2 hours of the movie. The movie's 17 hours, so it's really beyond. But
that's all right.
Speaking of Prima Nocta, we have this email from Bill.
Ooh.
Why is that speaking? Okay, never mind.
It's titled Email Title. And this is from Bill. He says, "Good evening, JCE crew. I just wanted to write in and say that I'm proud of you guys for getting on with your lives. Joe finally got married. Eric finally got a job. Maybe Ike will actually be able to show up to a show for once."
Ike's always here. I don't know why.
Yeah, why is he giving you a hard time?
Like, Eric is
late.
here all the time. I am here most of the time, and Joe is occasionally here if he feels like showing up.
I'm like the producer that just talks on the show.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, "I just started a job myself 2 weeks ago, so I know how good it feels to finally not be a lazy piece of shit all day."
Okay, Ike, you got to reconnect. But while Ike is doing stuff to fix his awesome internet and mic, I just want to encourage everyone to email the show at justcoolenough.com. If this gentleman, which I'm scrambling to find his name. What is his name?
Bill.
If Bill can email the show, then you can too. Bill, thank you for emailing the show. The show email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Send in your questions, comments, concerns that way.
So we're just gonna skip it, or you want me to fucking read it before
I don't know.
get?
I was waiting for.
Is it still
There,
terrible?
Ike, you're back.
It's weird. I have no idea why I'm having these connection issues. I just started a job myself 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it must be. So I finally know how good it feels to not be a lazy piece of shit all day. I picked you guys back up now that I have 45 minutes or so to commute. I might have missed a year or so of content, but the way I see it, it gives me a lot of backtracking to do. I was wondering if you guys play with any of your fans in Heroes of the Storm. I'd love to be able to play. If you ever have an extra spot, I'll add my battle tag after the email if you're interested. If you're not, I understand, since I'm sure you'd be swamped with adoration considering the piles of emails you get every week.
Yeah. Just
Was that a snarky comment, Bill? You
Yeah.
piece of crap! I love it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your email almost got lost in all the emails we don't get, but I'm glad we got to it.
One email we did get was a PayPal donation, so thank you for donating to Ike and Eric's Get Over to Michigan Fund and have a good time.
apparently Google is supposed to send me a check, but it has not arrived.
We're waiting, Google. I heard it takes forever, though.
Yeah.
But you would know. You've embezzled the last 3 checks. So.
I have not. I put the you can check. I got the it's been 2, and both times I cashed them out into my bank account and then PayPal'd the money into the Just Cool Enough account. So fuck you very much.
Eric has the plan, like he has a script built in that scrubs off pennies of our PayPal. So he literally has like 3 pennies.
Fuck you. I'm just gonna buy a PS4 with the money that's in there.
I know you've been thinking about it, you piece of trash.
I was like, if Just Cool Enough collapses right now, I could just get a PlayStation 4. I don't know if
You would sacrifice the show for a PS4. You're just like, Joe, you suck. I hate you. You're smelly, and Ike, your mic is always crackly. I quit. And then Ike and I are just like, well, guess that's the show. And then we totally forget that there's a PayPal account, and you just buy the PS4.
Yeah,
I think you could be more elaborate than that, though.
I think we should have a race. I'm going to call Comcast, and we'll see who can finish earlier, this show or my phone call.
God, let's put 39 minutes on the clock and go. Oh man, I don't want to head down the rabbit hole of talking about Comcast stuff, but I've had some bad experiences with them too. But yeah, let's not go there.
I haven't, but
But you have Time Warner.
Yeah, but I had Comcast forever before I moved to Los Angeles. I only had Time Warner for the 4 years I've lived down here.
Oh, it's a terrible announcement, by the way. I found out at a family dinner that Sarah's mom listens to this show. That would be my wife's mom listening to the show. The weird part was when I'm sitting there talking at dinner in casual conversation, and she brings up something only a listener would have said or brought up, and it hit me really funny. And we're like at a decent restaurant. I'm looking across the table. I'm like, did you just say that? Like, I had to do like a double take with my brain.
Is that like when your boss says that they've been listening to the same kind of thing? You're like, oh, what have I been saying? Like you flash back to everything that you said.
Mom's vagina. It just repeats slowly in your head over and over again. Why did you say that, Joe?
I don't know. Why did you say that?
Why do you keep saying it?
I don't know.
Oh, these are my interior thoughts.
I mean, when I'm like, whoa, 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 and then you're like, no, keep going. You know something's fucked up.
Well, you know what? That's why, because I say stuff like that in front of my parents all the time to rattle them.
That's fucking weird.
I'm totally like, you know, desensitized to it. It's like a child who played Street Fighter in the early '90s. They just now violence is all they know. Yeah. So I sorry about not being on the show last week, though, guys. Like, you guys really carried the team. I'm proud of you both. Really entertaining.
I had to treat myself by buying new shoes. So
And a cool shirt too. What Eric's gonna do a somersault?
No, I just wanted to get them. So these are my new shoes.
Oh man, those look like Back to the Future things.
Yeah, kind of. They're nice. They don't have auto laces or nothing, but They was nice. This was pretty
But
cool.
why did you buy new shoes? Did
Uh,
you know what's wear out?
yeah. Well, I got like a year ago. It was the last time I bought new shoes, and they were these Skechers, and they're nice. But they like have like one of those like they like the sole is memory foam, and the insole is like this gel stuff, and it started like wearing off and like sticking. So now it was like stepping in gum, and I was like, it's probably time to switch it up. And I wasn't sure because I've been ordering a lot of the last few years. I've been ordering shoes over the internet, and that's worked out. But I always felt like the best pair of shoes I've gotten, like 7 years ago, I got these pair of Nikes that cost me like $90, and they're still good. I mean, they have like a slight hole in the like where the toe is, but even they still super like comfortable, and they're held together really well compared to every other shoe I've gotten. I was like, fuck, maybe I should just get some Nikes again because they seem to like fucking last.
Have you ever bought the stylish shoe over the comfortable shoe?
I've bought shoes. Yeah, I've bought shoes that are a little smaller than they would be because I like the color one. I had that for a while. I remember years ago I got these nice sort of flat shoes. I forget what kind they were, but they were nice. They were like skate shoes, and my feet kind of hurt. But I thought that's because I'm not used to them. And then I realized like I think it was like a year or two ago, I found in my closet. I was like, oh, these are still good. Maybe I'll put them on. I put them on immediately, and my feet started to hurt. And I was like, oh, that's because these are too small for me, and they're bad. I shouldn't wear them.
So, yeah, that's happened to me too. Like, I don't know. It was probably like high school or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm like, you know what, Joe? Treat yourself. Let's go. You always are conservative with your shoes because it's like, oh, it's so important. It's you use them all day. You gotta make sure they're good. I'm like, fuck that. I'm buying some good shoes that look good. I don't care about the inside. It's like, how much am I on my feet anyway? So bought the stylish shoes. Regretted it like you immediately, but I thought, it can't be that bad. Maybe I just gotta break them in. And then,
Yeah, break them in, unlace them a little bit. They're lacing in too tight. That's all.
Why does this one part of my back hurt all the time?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's been like this for a month. So fuck you, K-Swiss. That's my story.
The last
That's
two
my
shoes
report.
I got two pairs of shoes from Jack Threads over the internet, and those both held up well. The last one I liked a lot, but the problem was it had like the bottom, there were nice high tops and stuff, but the bottom like it didn't have a lot of like indentations or anything, and it quickly all of the slight like little indentations got ground away, so it just became this like flat surface on the bottom of the shoe, and it doesn't rain much. But when it does rain here, it stays like just slight little puff. So I'm just hydroplaning all over the place because I have no traction on my shoes anymore.
Awesome.
They're still good, but I was just like I need something with a little traction.
I thought Ike was gonna talk here, but he's still on the phone. So
Yeah.
he still has like 33 minutes.
That's cool. He should have definitely done that during the show, I think.
Yeah, I think the show's the perfect time to do that. So I have a story that have you ever been kayaking?
No. I mean, sort of, kind of, not really.
How do you sort of, kind of?
I went to in Boy Scouting once. There was like a thing, like not a camp over, but there was at the state fairgrounds in Sacramento. There was like a Boy Scout event that had a bunch of things like archery and hatchet throwing. I remember there was a thing where we kayaked down like it's not like a real body of water, but they have like this really long like snaking fountain river thing in the fairgrounds, or I forget exactly.
Like a lazy river with a kayak in it.
Maybe it is a river. I don't know. There was a water park right next to the fairgrounds, but this was
using their.
This is in the actual fairgrounds. There's like this giant moat thing. It looks like the Potomac in D.C., but for some reason in the state fairgrounds in Sacramento.
Is it Potomac?
Yeah, Potomac, whatever. But it's just like this. I don't know if it was a real body of water or fake. Might have been.
I went kayaking. I've never been kayaking before, and so I'm like, Sarah's always bothering me about doing stuff outside and naturing and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna do something special. I'll surprise her. So I'm like, Sarah, we're gonna go kayaking. Actually, I didn't tell her. I'm like, we're gonna drive to this place. Don't ask questions. So we pull up. She's like, oh my gosh, kayaking, Joe, you're so sweet. I'm like, oh, I know.
So I thought I'd surprise her. I smacked her with a rock, and she woke up in an airplane.
No, so as I'm getting on the kayak, Sarah's looking at me like, "Wait, Joe, you've never kayaked before?" I'm like, "Yep. I'll figure it out as we go." Well, that was a bad idea because immediately once you get into this kayak, the first turn, like they gave you like a little map, and they said, follow these directions, make 2 lefts. When you get to the weird tree with the wiggly oak thing, make a right. So all these archaic shit to get where you need to go. And then, but the first left you make is rapids. They're like, duh, we just got a couple like class 2 rapids here. Don't worry about them. Just hit them straight. You'll be fine. I'm like, I can't even kayak straight, let alone hit a rapid straight. So immediately, I make it through the first turn. I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. I could do this, wiggling my hands around, and things are going good. And Sarah's just like flying through. She grew up in a town with rivers and shit in it. And not me. I am the opposite of that. I grew up in a Best Buy parking lot essentially, and so I'm hitting, like, I hit the first one a little bit cockeyed, and it knocked me a little bit sideways, and I noticed that there's a lady in like an inner tube, and I'm coming straight for her, and I'm panicking trying to steer this thing, and the lady's sitting there like Austin Powers style, like, no. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like sticking the oar in the water trying to slow down, and I ended up just like grazing the front of her bosom, and then like with the boat, like I kinked the boat to the side. I'm like, lady off the port bow, fuck. Oh god. And made it to the left, and then immediately I hit another kayaker who's also struggling just as much as me, and that was only the first rapid. Like there was like 6 more to go. So the whole time it was a shit show like that as I go from rapid to rapid, just running into people. Like, why would they start me off like this? And Sarah's like 3 rapids up, like waving her hands around, like trying, like she's like, technique. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Just like,
stop screaming technique and help.
I know. I'm like, what? I'm gonna drown. I'm gonna drown and die in a river of water that is 3 feet deep.
Now I'm gonna die, and Eric's gonna use the Just Cool Enough money to buy a PS4.
Maybe this was up to you. Yeah, maybe you like planted the seed inside of it. And you knew I was gonna.
It's
do
Inception.
This.
You went to bed, and I accepted the idea of kayaking.
Joe, you should totally go kayaking on these.
You're waiting for a
rapids.
kayak. A kayak that will take you far, far away. You can't be sure where the kayak will lead you.
Do the rapids one. Yeah, there's like a scenic route one, but I'm like, no, I want to spice it up. I'll do the rapids part. I was like, why did I do the rapids part? Actually, to be quite honest, I had a lot of fun, and I want to do it again. So,
you're like one of those guys. You're like, I've never been skiing, but I can handle a black diamond.
I actually that's a true story that I did. I absolutely
you're
did
exact.
That.
I know. That's why I said you were one of those guys. That
I am one of those guys.
The lead it and the slide is that you were like, bah, I've never done this, but I don't need to go down the bunny hill. I'm gonna go down this one little that killed Sonny Bono.
To be fair, I did do one bunny hill before we went on to the double black diamond.
Okay, so you were basically an expert by there. You were beeping and French frying. You had that shit.
So that was actually the only training that I ever got, was that South Park episode.
Yeah. Okay.
So I knew that there was a technique called pizza and French frying, but once the skis are on your legs, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, like, once you're going down the side of a mountain at 20, 30, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was definitely probably more than 40, probably at least 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Everybody
I just want to bring up, I Googled kayak just cause, went to images, and I scrolled down a little, not terribly far down, but a little, and there's just an image of a woman not in a thong, not like a bathing suit thong, like lingerie, like on a kayak on all fours, and like in like not on a beach or in the ocean, but it looks like it's clearly a photo studio. And I'm like, what is that? I mean, yeah, sure, like women in bikinis all over the place because it's water, but this is just a lady in some place. Like there's like that. I was like, what? Why? She's wearing stockings. What the fuck is this picture?
Okay, I'm not sure what you're. I mean, I also Googled kayak, and I'm not getting the. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would you? This. Okay, so
she's
anyway.
Clearly not. I mean, if you're advertising kayaks, you would want it to be on the water. Like, I don't understand the context of this picture in the slightest.
Yeah, this is bad. It's like bad stock photography.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Moral of the story is, I didn't even want to show off. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. They're like, we're gonna go on a ski trip, Joe. You down? I'm like, yeah, totally down. They're like, have you ever been skiing before? This is kind of a rough mountain. I'm like, no, never been. I mean, yeah, totally. We went skiing before. They're like, all right, cool, man. They're like, what kind of skis do you have? I'm like, oh, I just rented when I get there. I don't know what happened to my last pair.
Yeah.
So I get there, I rented like these 180 skis, and they're like, well, the mountain's kind of treacherous because like it snowed real hard and then it like rained kind of, so it's like basically ice, but you can cut back and forth. And so the thing is, I didn't bail like hardcore for a good hour and a half or so, and they just thought I liked going really, really fast. But the real truth of that is I only was able to go down the mountain straight. I didn't know how to cut back and forth, and I was too scared to try it because I would get going too fast too quickly. I easily could have died. There was trees and shit everywhere.
No, my dad he told me this story. He's like, he can't, one of his foot, I forget if it's the right or the left, he broke so severely skiing when he was like 16 or whatever. He has no feeling in that foot, and it's weird. It looks like it looks a little different. It doesn't look quite normal. The ankle's kind of weird because he literally like his brothers like tightened it so much they didn't like it's supposed to like
it's supposed to release.
Break away and stuff like that. It didn't. So he fell down the mountain. It didn't come off, and basically his ankle broke so bad he just helicoptered his fucking ankle like this all the way down the fucking mountain, and it permanently fucked up his foot for the rest of his life. So I grew up with that knowledge, and then when we went skiing as kids, we went through like instructors. So I didn't even realize until much later in my life that you could just go down a mountain. Like there's nobody checking to see if you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, there should have been, because I really almost died.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, after about an hour and a half, I was like feeling pretty cocky. I'm like, hey man, I'm fucking indestructible. I could just go down these hills all day. I don't need to cut back or forth or anything. And everybody's like, Joe, why don't you take your time on the mountain? You know, like you're supposed to enjoy it. I'm like, I like going really fast. So I ended up bailing. I was going down a really tall one, probably the tallest hill in the thing, and I was gonna hit the lodge. There was no two ways about it. I couldn't turn. I couldn't go. Like once I made it past and I felt sidewalk under my skis, I'm like, this is bad. And then it like dropped down another part of a mountain into the ski lodge. I'm like, oh fuck, this is where I slam into the wall and die. So I just kind of tuck and rolled. I lost both of my skis. The skis went forward towards the lodge and launched like Blestia missiles, like or ballistas or whatever the hell you call them. It was just like
ballistic missile. Yeah, I imagine it's like straight up like one of those teen ski comedies where it's like some guy in a monocle going, well, I can't wait for skiing, and then you just see two skis like lodge like it like
that's exactly how it was. That it was they flew. And they could have like stabbed some. If they would have nailed somebody in the face, they would have been very hurt or dead. And so I'm sliding at that point, and I probably was going, I don't know, I had to be 30 or 40 miles an hour. And the way I was spinning around on the ground sliding, and it ripped off my pants. It ripped off it brought my snowsuit. I didn't have a snowsuit. I had fucking jeans on, right? And it brought them down to my ankles. So my underwear's my underwear's covering my private part, but I'm sliding on my butt cheeks. All the hair on my ass cheeks got ripped off immediately by the cold snow and the coarse snow. And so I had like this and not to mention my ass cheeks got raspberried really bad because I went over pavement, snow, pavement. But good news is I didn't hit the building. The bad news is everybody around me thought I died, like because I sat there in the snow for a bit on the ice because it wasn't
bleeding
fucking snow.
From the ass.
I was bleeding. There was
blood pooling around your butt.
There was blood from my ass in the snow. The snow and then like the two other guys I was with came by. They're like, "Holy shit, are you alive? Are you okay?"
I want you to say this was like you were like, yeah, I was 14, 16. You were probably 27.
I mean, it was late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
But still,
This was last weekend.
I always wanted to go skiing again though because of that. Like
I haven't been since I was a kid. But like when I was a kid, I remember we went through all the instructions and stuff. My parents like they got us like full like we had to wear long underwear and then like the heavy coats and pants and stuff like that. I remember because they put it on us, and then immediately once you get all dressed up, you got your gloves and you're like 4 layers. The first thing you want to do is fucking go to the bathroom, and they're like, God damn it, we just got you in this. Like, sorry, I gotta pee. Well, good. Why didn't you pee before? I didn't have to go before.
It's inevitable. You just get nervous, then you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom, Mom. Thanks for bundling me up. I gotta go.
I took ski classes as a child, and I did not enjoy it. And I just remember the last day, like, you can go anywhere you want at the end of the day since you've had your skiing lessons. And I like looked up this really like it was like fairly tall hill, like maybe 3 times the height of like the bunny hill that we've been practicing on. I was like, I'm going on that. Like, you just have to bring a friend with you in case something happens. Your friend can come, get us. Sweet. So I hop on this, chairlift, and then one hill crests over into 2 hills, crests over into 3 hills. I'm like, oh no! I'm like, I'm never gonna make it down this alive. And then I get to the top. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to be up here. And then I realize I dropped my glove at the bottom of the ski lift. So I have one glove, and I don't want to go down this thing, and they made me walk all the way down it rather than take the chair.
You had to walk down?
Yeah, I had to walk down it.
Why? Why would you walk down the ski hill?
Because they made me. So like, there's a walking path over there by the ski lift. You can walk down. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So fuck skiing. That's what I say.
I really enjoyed it. I would do it again. Let's go on a Just Cool Enough ski trip.
Because that's what I want to do. I want to die by strapping 2 planks of wood to my feet and go 60, 70,000 miles down a hill.
Well, I've always said winter sports are just some form of strapping a piece of wood to yourself and falling down a mountain.
Now, I don't think you always have said that, but I think like you've always thought that and never said it.
No, that was the first joke in my stand-up set in high school.
Wait, was it?
Yeah, because the Winter Olympics were happening. That's a great thing. Every 4 years, that joke is fresh again.
Maybe you should just keep it not fresh. Just let it die.
No. I actually said at the beginning of the show last week, Joe, but you weren't here to realize that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. How many times do I have to apologize?
You haven't apologized. That was the first time you apologized.
Oh, see, I do this all the time where I just assume that people know that I'm super sorry about stuff. That's it. That's all. That's the end of my thought. Sorry about not showing up last week, though. Seriously.
Oh, fucking thank you.
I told you guys did a great job. You made me laugh. That's hard to do.
What, are we like a fucking clown to you now? Do we make you laugh? Do you think I'm funny?
You? Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You guys are hilarious.
What about me is so funny, huh?
Mainly your jokes, except for that ski one. That one sucked.
No.
And your Winter Olympic, you got to put the one.
That joke killed.
Well, here I can make Eric's scene better. When I went to the zoo this week and we went over to see the big cats, I was like, why do you never invite a big cat to play poker? Because he might be a cheetah.
It's so shitty.
It's a bad joke. We're playing Quiplash this Saturday, which is this new game from the people who do You Don't Know Jack, and where you answer a question and then like they put like you and another person's answer and everyone votes on which is the funniest. And the question was, what do you call a baby Sasquatch? And I had the most dad joke answer ever. It was a Wasquatch.
Oh, jeez. You know. Wait, the term dad joke gets thrown around loosely, and my dad never was much of a jokester per se.
My dad jokes were like, "Hey, what do you get when you beat your son with a belt? A better son."
Careful, dude. You're getting close to home, just like my dad hit me. Oh God. No, but seriously.
You want a joke? Look in the mirror. Now shut the fuck up and get me a beer.
Give me a. Oh God. What was I even talking about? All you're doing is bringing up repressed memories, Eric. Please
you're like,
stop.
No, Dad.
Dad, no.
I just want to play soccer with my friends. No. You wake up in a cold sweat tonight.
Says.
You just wake up screaming tonight at like 2 a.m. You're just like, oh, and Sarah's like, what's going on? And you're like, don't hit me with the belt.
actually do. Never mind. So, Ike, I want to congratulate you on 7 years of relationship.
Thank you.
Oh, you didn't. You weren't here last week. You didn't hear.
Yeah, no, that was
Okay,
a
God.
late April Fool's joke.
Oh, Jesus.
She
Cthulhu, save me.
died in a fire.
Oh, my God. Why would you
It
go there?
would have been 7 weeks, 7 years this week, but she died in a fire last week.
So, are you saying you don't need the +1 on that RSVP you did?
No, not anymore.
All right, cool. Well, that's $14 of a plate of food savings. Awesome. Thank you for telling me in advance. A lot of people wouldn't have the heart to do so.
Well, I mean, since you brought it up, it's painful though. Thanks.
Oh, God.
You know, just for making me feel bad, I am going to need that +1. I'm not going to show up with anybody, so fuck you.
You could have 2 foods. You could have 2 food. If your girlfriend dies,
Look,
between
Joe,
now,
his girlfriend died in a horrible fire. Let him have 2 dinners. Don't be a
Him
dick
too.
about it. Not everything's about you.
do you want the sloppy Joe or the grilled cheese? They're super fancy.
Dude, you know she died in a grease fire?
Grilled cheese
True.
accident.
Yeah.
Was.
So one of my coworkers actually almost blew up her house. So that happened, and she did almost die in a fire, but she didn't get burned at all, which was really nice. But
Was she the mother of dragons?
I know, right? Like she just bought a house and she's renovating it, and she thought the pilot light went out on her stove, so she put a match under there. The doors of the oven blew off, and a ball of flames happened. I don't know how you survive this, but like if that happened to my house, I would consider not putting out the fire. I'd be like, well, that's it for the house.
No, let's be honest. You would if that happened to your house, the first thing you would think is it was a mob hit gone wrong, and then you would like exhaust that option, and then realize that you fucked up.
Like, oh my God.
Then you call the insurance company and
Macaulay
burns.
brothers are after me again.
Sale Spicoli. Oh shit. He's got my number.
I knew
The
he was
Mario-
getting out.
It's the Mario Brothers. They're after me again. Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Oh, really? The Mario Brothers. Fucking
So
racist.
you guys been playing any games?
I don't play games anymore. After my girlfriend died, I've just been too depressed. Thanks for bringing that
stop.
up.
Amanda is alive.
Stop.
Stop it.
You've
You'll
been
get your extra plate of food. Do whatever you want.
Dude,
Jesus.
Joe, you're so fucking insensitive. No, I mean,
He's pretending. He's just pretending she's around still.
yeah, it's fucking hard for him. Okay,
Oh my
he
God.
needs this.
Here, just whisper into the mic. Yeah, there's no way he can hear you.
Yeah, I know. He can't hear it. This frequency.
What?
He has teacher hearing. I
See-
thought he could hear every frequency.
No, only in a classroom. Don't you know how this shit works?
I forgot. I didn't. When I was a little kid, I didn't think teachers went to the bathroom.
We don't.
Oh, well then, I'm glad you dismissed that.
I had my kidneys and my bowels removed.
You're just replaced with an extra brain of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what they don't tell you once you get into the teachers union. That's what happens.
Yeah. Like, why didn't I get this upgrade sooner? Extra brain power, awesome.
Well, they got to keep you around for a while so they don't lose their capital investment. So they want to make sure you're good for it. Then they put you in the union. Then you're safe. Then that's why it's so hard to fire a teacher, especially in public schools, because that was taxpayer money putting in your extra brains.
Yeah.
It's true.
We got somebody said something about Sloppy Joe and it just made me laugh in the chat room. Join our chat room. It's justcoolenough.com/live, and while you're there, you can always hit the donate button to get Eric and Ike over to Michigan and help me see. Eric, you made this awesome clip art not clip art. You made this awesome Photoshop that I hadn't shown off yet, and I think I'm going to put it on the site after the show today.
Cool. I also threw up a video of us playing Rocket League.
God.
So you can watch us. Originally I was gonna do a lot more editing, but then I realized the Rocket League matches are just 5 minutes long, and it's so like, I mean, I could like cut it, but I figured just watch. It's just 3 matches.
I think the most important part is the start. If you could latch the start at like the first 8 seconds, then the rest of the thing just comes together.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sloppy Joe's is totally a pickup line. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you should have been in the chat room for the show. I think I did try that before. That's the sad part. Well, that explains a lot. So, I've been itching to play Heroes of the Storm, but I'm also sad to get back into it because I haven't played, so I got to knock the rust off of the characters that I was, getting palatable at. Do you guys ever go through that with the game? Where you don't want to go back to it because you don't want to be like, wow, I suck.
No,
That was your excuse for not playing WoW.
Yeah, I went back to. I got 7 free days the other week and played WoW, and I'm surprised how easy I got back into it. Because normally it's like, how the fuck do I play this character again? Because it's been months, but then
it'd be harder to jump back into a character. So I'm told.
And it was a Retribution Paladin, so it's not that. It's just not that.
Is it still
difficult.
Consecrate and wait?
No,
and then stack
Consecrate. That's if you're protection. You don't have to Consecrate at all. Fuck that.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't played in a long time. I have a bunch of dust all over my WoW playing Z board. Oh, look at that light. Oh. Anyway.
Yes, light happens. That's what happens when the sun moves across the sky. It's almost magic.
Maybe I should play. From the depths, the Z board rises. Anyway.
You were raised Catholic, weren't you? You're like, the sun's shining on this thing I'm holding in light.
It's a miracle!
Jesus must want me to play. Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, get the heel.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, awesome. Yeah, I was raised Catholic. Thanks for bringing that up too. Why do you keep bringing up all my repressed memories?
Yeah, like, no.
Getting beat, going to church.
By Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, hey, Father O'Malley, no. He's like, shut up, Joe, and buy me a beer.
That was totally incorrect because if you know anything about me, you would know that there's no way that any of my fathers would have an Irish accent. They would be an Italian accent, or it wouldn't have been one of my fathers.
Joseph, get me a beer, say.
Oh my gosh! Hey, and shout out to Dart in the chat room too. We're getting a lot more people in the chat room. By a lot, I mean like 3 or 4. So that's awesome.
We're blowing on up.
Now we just need them to chat to each other so we can be distracted while we're doing the show.
So now you're like, you talk and you talk. No kiss.
All right, now Ryle, you talk to Dart, and Art, you watch.
Yeah.
Or Dan, you watch. All right. So, yeah. Thanks for bringing up all those memories, Eric.
You're welcome. If there's one thing I want people to take away from this is that Joe has a lot of repressed memories, and he should feel horrible for his life and his childhood and his upbringing, and we should bring it up constantly.
That's the guilt that I'm looking for. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, everyone. I tried to do as best I can.
Well, it's not good enough. Try harder.
So yeah, the whole like video game thing though. Have you guys ever done that where you just don't go back in? Because that's what I see myself happening with Heroes. It's like, well, I don't want to get.
It's 3 buttons.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like I would feel bad if I
4
lose a
if
match.
you really want the extra. Fuck it. People lose the match all the time. And the great thing about this week is it's Abathur free week.
Yeah. So you don't got to do anything.
Oh my god!
You could literally play all you want, and people won't notice that you're terrible.
Really? It's
it's
Abathur.
So I played the other day on Tuesday when they put it out. I'm like, oh, this is great, Abathur. And then you since everyone's trying it out, nobody knows how to fucking play, and then you get like a nobody Abathur on your team, so that way there's nobody in one lane because fucking you have a support and somebody else, and you run around. It's just terrible. But then you get the one random Abathur who has a level 9 skin or one of the special skins. You're like, oh well, hopefully somebody who felt compelled enough to invest themselves in this, or at least have gotten high enough level that they know what the fuck they're doing, and they're the ones who fucking DC during the game, so that the bot takes over. Like we had
bot Abathur.
We had a bot Abathur who picked up 14 coins off a Nova that was killed from towers, and then just sat and spawned with 14 coins on the pirate thing. So I'm clicking Abathur, and I'm clicking myself. It's like, Abathur is now following you. But it's Abathur. He doesn't follow anyone. So he just sits in fucking spawn. I'm like, click Abathur, click myself. Abathur is no longer following you. No, I want Abathur to follow me. That's why I clicked on him. So I went over by the chest and I clicked Abathur and clicked myself. It's like, Abathur is now following you. And then he moves. He starts to dig. I'm like, oh, he's coming to me. He's going to do it. No, he did 3 feet to the south. 3 feet. He just came right up next to himself. I'm like, that was a fucking waste. That was a waste. We end up losing anyway. Not that 14 coins probably would have made or break the game, but that's 14 coins that at least if the other Abathur had it and died, like I would have rather Abathur died with the coins, the other team picked them up.
Oh my god.
Because there'd be a better chance we'd have coins.
Yeah.
So see, you could play. Nobody'd know.
All right. I want to play. I want to play right now, actually. What are we gonna play after the show today?
Well, it's either that or Rocket League. And tomorrow, Rocket League puts out their DLC content you can get.
Ooh. So, are you telling me that I should be playing? You didn't answer my question.
Abathur. That's what you should be playing.
You're a fucking adult. You're married. Make up your own goddamn decisions.
Oh,
No, actually, that's the problem. He's an adult and he's married, so she should be making his decisions now.
Yeah, ask your wife.
What character should I play?
Babe, should I play Rocket League or Heroes of the Storm? I know that they're both basically video games, and you don't like that. No, I know I'm supposed to take out the. Yeah, no, I know I said I would go out with you and Karen to that. No, it's the plan.
See, like, you're doing the impersonation of the first wife. Like I'm pretty sure I skipped all that.
That's the
stuff.
one you're on.
No.
It's just
mean,
that you haven't gotten there yet.
She's my. We skipped the first step. I swear.
We'll check back next year. Too bad we can't time hop this shit. Maybe I'll go put that on Facebook. Joe said that we skipped first step of marriage. And that way, time hop will come up next year. I'll be like, so Joe, what do you think? Oh, fucking no, we're just too early. That's
got the old ball and chain.
We're too young. We're too young. Just a couple of kids. We didn't know what we're doing. You know, it's really upsetting you talking about your wife so much when Ike's girlfriend was literally burned to death in a grease fire 3 days ago.
It was like the end of. Oh, never mind. I almost.
That's really why I only had meat and mushrooms in my stew tonight, because I don't know how to fucking make anything else.
That's all she bought. That was all that was left after the fire.
She said, "I'm gonna pre-make the stew. I'm gonna put meat and mushrooms, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come in and put in all the vegetables." But she died in a grease fire, so she never got to.
It's true.
Oh God. Well, I mean, there's really no positive to bring out of that. I was like straining. I'm like, maybe I could do a pot, but no, that's super sad. Hopefully we can. Let's
stop talking about all this sad shit and start plugging each other.
Oh, right.
My plug for this week, I don't know how much longer this is actually going to be on YouTube before it gets taken down, but if you hadn't ever heard, the movie Shrek, starring Mike Myers, that came out in 1997, was actually supposed to be starring Chris Farley. And he apparently recorded about 70% of the lines before he passed away, unfortunately. But he recorded a bunch of the lines. And there's a YouTube video of basically it's some storyboards of a scene from Shrek with Chris Farley as the voice of Shrek and Eddie Murphy as the voice of Donkey, and it's really interesting because it's a very different take on the voice because it's just Chris Farley doing the Chris Farley voice. But it's really fascinating to see. Like in some weird alternate universe where he didn't kill himself with drugs and alcohol, this could be Shrek.
So did Eddie Murphy have to redo his lines?
No, I'm sure he probably. I mean, the way these things usually work, they don't record them together. They usually record them alone. He might have had to fix some things. I don't know what Mike Myers brought in terms of improv or whatever. I don't know the whole story, but I do know that he was pretty far along in the process of recording all his voiceover before he died. So that's actually really shitty. Because is it good? It's actually pretty interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting scene. I want to see it because I think Chris Farley was just Tommy Boy is seriously one of my favorite movies, and yeah, I just watched the Chris Farley documentary, I Am Chris Farley, and they talked about that movie is basically his life because that was his dad. Like he lived in the Midwest. His dad was a salesman. His dad wanted him to like go into the business and take over for him. He out of college, he was basically a salesman. He would just like go and like take these dudes out to dinner and stuff and get them drunk and go, oh, by the way, my dad wants you to sign this, and then they would like he's like it's great. I just like go to dinner and get drunk and talk, and make people laugh, and then I don't have to pay for anything, and then I get a paycheck.
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend was also recording the voice for Shrek for the next one, but she died. But she only got about 70% of the way through it.
Yeah.
They think they might be able to fudge it though with some computer, like have me sit in and just use a little auto tuning now and see
Yeah,
if I might be able to
like they
pull it
did
off.
with Philip Seymour Hoffman in the last like 3 movies he did with what are those young adult movies?
Hunger Games.
Hunger Game movies.
My God. Oh, that's terrible. That's freaking terrible. So my plug for this week is, guys, you need to head over to justcoolenough.com, hit the donate button. I know I've plugged it like 4 times, but it's because it's really important to me to get these guys here and see them. I haven't seen them in like 10 years or so. Has it been 10 years?
No, we haven't even been. We're doing this show for 6.
So I haven't seen them for like 7 years, maybe 8. That's almost 10. So for almost 10 years, if you're rounding up. But seriously, I miss them. I want to see them real bad, and this is the best excuse we've had to meet up. So donate to justcoolenough.com and help Eric get a PS4 if we all die in a fire. And then
Whoa!
also,
Too soon, Joe.
I tried to bring some comedy to it. I'm sorry.
No, it's not funny, Joe. It's not funny.
Well, you know what is also not funny? Not supporting the show, so to go do that. And then make sure you know that this show is brought to you by Alpha Geek Radio and Shout Engine. Those 2 things make this show possible. So go check it out.
They gave me a promotion after I put out that grease fire with my face. And everyone was real jealous.
Waka waka, dude.
Let Ike plug something. His girlfriend's
Sorry,
dead.
what do you got? What do you got?
Let's see. This week I'm gonna plug. I had something. Oh yeah. So if you're playing Rocket League, I would totally suggest getting a controller to play Rocket League. But my plug this week, my plug is I had 2 of these Logitech little like PlayStation controllers that are absolutely horrid. So my friends are all like, "Why do you suck so much at this game?" And then they came and played on my computer using my controllers, and like, "Nope, sorry, I take that back. I will never judge you for your playing ability again." So I went out and picked myself up an Xbox 360 controller. And this thing's amazing. My gameplay has improved like 100-fold. Like, I was pretty awesome, but it's like walking around with 20-pound weights on your legs and then taking them off and realizing that you can, like, jump 20 yards. So I would totally plug Xbox 360 wired controllers for Rocket League if you're looking for a good investment.
Yeah, and you're not the only report that I've heard of the Logitech ones kind of not working so well. So I think you're on.
And I'm really glad that about 2 of them. And that when I called GameStop to see if they take them back or take them, no.
It's like lingerie, It's like you used it. You can't take it back. There could be poop stains on it.
And there are, but I washed them off. That's true.
Jeez. Oh gosh, I think that's about it, Eric. Take
2
us out.
controllers for sale on Craigslist.
2 controllers, slightly used. Oh God.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. You can always follow us on various social medias and all that shit. But until next week, have a wonderful weekend and fuck off.
Oh man, I didn't even get to plug the Just Cool Enough Facebook page. Why didn't you let me do that? It's facebook.com/justcoolenough.
No, well, you can't. It's too late now.
Oh shit. Well, are we at least gonna play Rocket League or Heroes?
We can play either one.
Rocket
Uh,
Heroes.
Well, me and Ike might. You're gonna say you are, and then you're never gonna show up.
Can we play in 30 minutes, please?
No, Joe. You have 5 minutes to go take your poop, and then you better be back here.
Okay, but I mean it's gonna
Stop
be
the
close.
show.
Oh, sorry. It's gonna be closer to 30